So this is the current boilerplate application that I use to start a couple other projects. For the most part, there are a lot of things that I need to change about the base version. I've updated it in a couple other projects specifically for the goals that I have for those. The idea behind this is that all of these entity types would represent things that I would want to do in those other sites. Now I want to spruce up the base version of this code base so that I can actually use it more productively, more cohesively across the multiple different projects that I have. So just logging out as a user, you can see that there are a lot of features that are behind this login flag. They need a user to be logged in to actually access the features that exist. Not all of the things that should be behind this flag are. And so that's something that I want to change. But just going through it very briefly, a site can have projects. Projects have users. Users can create scenes, concepts, events, tags, and upload assets. There's this all section of the admin panel that displays all of the control panels that you see: users, projects, scenes, concepts, etc., events, tags, assets. And I'm just going to go through each of these and try to improve the ways that these control panels work. Because right now, there are a few discrepancies with how they should behave and how they actually do. Going into projects, right now this works for the most part the way that it should. There are a few strange things. So if I create a new project, this is an example project. The description, project description, and submit that. In this case, the project display updates. I think this is the only one that actually updates the project display once a project, or it updates the entity display when a new entity is created. That's not something that the others do. But you can see when I submitted the project description, it didn't actually get saved, or it's not being returned. I don't remember which one. But I can deactivate the project, and the thing that you saw, the project display, there are actually two. This one comes from the form, and this one pulls the active project. If I refresh this, you can see that the form, it's not very obvious. Looking at inspecting the code, there's this input wrapper that has the value. This is an example project. So in Redux, if I go to the app state log and look at the project feature, I can see that the state has project 3. Description is not being returned. If I look into Redux, that's coming from rehydrate project action. Yeah, so if I look at Redux, I'm using Redux persist to keep state between page loads. Right now it's using local storage. Project has state, and this is coming from the previous GraphQL query. If I go to users, then you can see project, this is an example project, but if I deactivate that and go back to users, it's a select drop down again. So I'm just going to choose project 1 because that's the user that I have right now. Or that's the project that's associated with one of the users that I have. Submit that, and there's the logout button. If I refresh the page, these must be logged in to continues go away. So projects, that entity type, whenever I create a project, I'm not gonna add a description because it. Oh, maybe I will to see in the back end later if that actually works. That shows up. But if I log in here, interesting. It didn't do it that time. I don't know why. So I have to look into that. There are some strange things about this. Going to scenes, scene title, scene description, submit. That didn't show up in the scene display, but if I refresh the page, it does. Scene description is being set and scene title is being set. If I can change that, this is the edit scene form. See if this changed. Submit. Cannot read properties, undefined reading ID. So that is a development error. Ideally, this wouldn't be returned, and I think that only gets returned in the development environment that I have set up. Concepts. See if this works. Right now I have content types, text plain, text swoop, and text rich. Text rich is a rich text editor. This is something. I don't think that it has commands yet. This is a concept. If I change this back to text plain, then you can see that the content from the rich text editor is stored as JSON internally. These are contents. Submit that. That showed up. This is a concept. Oh, I probably did that before. So let's see. Yep. These are contents. And I suppose right now this is being fetched based on the name of the concept, or the concept title, instead of the ID of the concept. So that's something that I need to change. Concept display, I can delete that one. Try to refresh the page and see if that, yep, this is content, concept display, submit, this is concept, tag concept, submit, no user input. So that's something that is also broken. Events, start, event, title, start, end, contents, submit, doesn't show up, refresh the page, shows up, contents, all of those are right, event, title, tag, submit, user not provided, tags, this is a tag, domain shouldn't be there, example, something, submit, need tag display, so that shouldn't be displayed like that. Also, this tag control panel is different than the rest in that it doesn't have its own sub navigation. Assets, also I'm not going to upload an asset right now because I don't really have that prepared. I think that works. It used to. Yeah, a lot of this used to work, but I haven't really paid attention to this repository. So maybe it doesn't. And that's something that I would like to change.